Hi, Vincent.
Hi, hold on one second. Hello?
Hello.
Oh, shit. Hold on one second. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. What's the topic of today's stream?
We can talk about what's been happening lately and what you think of the quality of the spaces that you've been in and
Well, did you see
Scientology
I
and
had that space with Magellan on Scientology? Did you see that?
yes, I listened to it.
Oh, you did. Well, she had to go after a little bit of a while, but um
Yeah, because you allowed that what's his name, big gay, to get on his soapbox.
well, I was asking her questions and I was trying to monitor it out. I did ask if she left because of him. I did ask if she left because of him, and let's see what she says to that. She told me she had bad Wi-Fi. That's what she said, and then I asked, "Did you leave because of him?" But
Well, I would leave it because of him. I mean, I'm used to him now, so it's like I kind of know what he's going to say, but um, you know, anyway, when I talk to her, I don't let anyone interrupt because, she actually engages on the subject, and it would just be well, just letting any troll, you know, say his 2 cents is would just derail the conversation in my view. And you can tell how people behave, usually they put their hand up and then you don't let them on and they go. They're not really interested in what you say. They just want to use your platform to say whatever's on their mind and then fuck off, you know. And a lot of people are like that, and they can show a bit of respect by taking an interest in what you're saying, but of course they can't be bothered, or they'll just hop onto another space. And um, yeah, I think it's useful to note their behaviour. Um, I mean, quite often they, don't really say anything that much. And I mean, did you find any sort of profound revelations being made in the last few, in the recent spaces you've been in?
no, I've actually been getting very depressed, and actually something did happen. I met a polytheist, and we started talking, and I haven't prayed to the gods or done idolatry in years now. I mean, I still have my idols, but um, they're packed away. Um, I haven't done any kind of thing like that for a long time now. Um, but he got me back into it, and so I started praying to the gods and chanting, and I feel better. I do feel better. I don't know if just maybe just chanting, no matter what you're chanting, or no matter who you're chanting to or why helps. Like, just chanting might just help you,
It is
but
quite soothing. I mean,
yeah,
it's not, it just seems to be pretty much a universal tradition.
yeah, it does seem to clear your head and make you feel better, but it helps if, I mean, if you're just saying dead words over and over and over that have no higher power or higher meaning, it kind of steals. Well, I think it makes it easier to chant when you believe you're chanting to a god, right? I mean, secular chanting. Let's think. Okay, so So without and just saying the same words over a short phrase over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, will that help you? I mean, I don't know. I don't even
Well,
know if I want
entire
to.
religions. Well, I mean, Nichiren Shoshu Buddhism is that. You know, have you heard of that?
Well, but they believe there's meaning behind those words and there's deeper meaning. It's not just like I'm just going to say two random words over and over and over and over again until I feel better. Like, you know what I mean? I could say hi tree, hi tree, hi tree a million times. Would I feel better?
Um, well, I mean, there is a power of sound. I mean, you know what they say about, the people say, that kind of thing. And possibly the sound is, it echoes throughout your body and whatever. And also, I don't know if you've had any knowledge of TM. Do you know any people who did TM, Transcendental Meditation?
No.
Well, anyway, they give you a mantra, and they don't tell you what it means, but what I discovered that they give you a mantra according to your sex and age and that sort of thing. So, but anyway, you think the mantra is magic, so you think of it and you say it, and you know, and you think it has magic, and it is a power of suggestion. People think just by saying certain things, you get better. So with Nichiren Choshu Buddhism, yeah, you can make a song of it. Namo Horengeki, Namo Horengeki, and people, just find their spirit soothed by this activity, this this invoking, I suppose, of the spirits or of God to help them and make things better. But
Well,
I
it's been
basically
helping. It's been helping. I started doing it because it relieved some of my anxiety and unhappiness. And ooh, let's see if something's here for me. Hold on, the prime. Maybe my idol's here because I ordered an idol.
you ordered an
Oh,
idol. Well, what happened
oh.
to your old ones? You couldn't
This
find
is a
them,
different god. I want to get an Hades idol.
right? I haven't heard of that one.
Hades? You've never heard of
Oh,
Hades?
Hades, but that's the god of the underworld.
Yeah, I know. Well, my friend, it seemed applicable for my friend's temperament, so I suggested it for him, and then I got one too, and then I got a book on Hades to learn more about him, and
Well,
yeah, I
you,
got a
you
book
know
on.
about Persephone and all
Yeah,
that.
I know. I was thinking about that. He raped her. I mean, that's not great.
Vincent, I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people are neurotic because they think by doing certain things they're gonna make things better for themselves. I mean, that's why you get OCD, obsessive compulsive behavior, OC, OCB, I should have said, and all kinds of neurotic behavior. Compulsive cleaning, compulsive, whatever. Um, and maybe it's not that healthy, but I would favour a more logical approach, and I'm just telling everybody this is so simple to understand, but people just reject it.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
but
know.
people need a little bit of, maybe everyone's right. Maybe secular Quranism is too dry. There are no prayers, chants, this, that. There are none of these kinds of things, and maybe most stupid people need that. I mean, maybe even
Okay, but
I.
they have the stories, right? So they think, oh, secular Quranism is just a bunch of rules. It's like, okay, there is the Abrahamic God, so you have to think of, well, I mean, the three Abrahamic religions, right? And then well, I think okay, people basically need to correctly conceive of God, and then everything will fall into place. I think, you, you know. I just don't see the problem with it. So the three, most of us are not Jews, so we can forget about being Jews. Um, we've pretty much rejected Christianity because we don't think it's working, and, and we sort of suspect that it has, in any case, been replaced by liberalism. So there's only this you know, um, you know, this Islam thing. But that's okay. It's like, you can slowly approach it. It's like, well, okay, we don't like the Muslims, but
Well, what if
um,
you don't like the narratives? What if you don't like the whole story? What if you don't believe the narratives? What if you don't believe all that shit happened? What if you just don't believe that?
okay, let's not even talk about the narrative. We can just go to, the basics about, the cosmological argument and the uncaused first cause.
No, but I know, but we've been over that a million times. We don't need to go over that again. What we need to do is, okay, so I don't know why. I'm a pretty secular minded person. I don't know why this chanting is helping me. It is. It's helping me. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know why to tell you. I don't know how it's working. I don't know why it's working, but it's working.
Right. Do you know what your chant? Do you know what the chanting is? I mean, do you
Well,
know
I
what
just say,
what you're chanting?
I just say Hades God over and over and over and over and over and over. Hades God, Hades God, Hades Zeus, Hades Zeus, Hades Zeus, Hades Zeus, Hades Zeus.
Okay. I mean, the other day, Stephen J. James was sort of, he gave us this Buddhist chant. I don't know if you were in the same space when
No.
he and Elliot were talking, and he obviously knows it pretty well because it was quite a long one. Um, so I guess when he was in Thailand, he learned it pretty well. Um, and I guess for Christians, it's the Lord's Prayer, right? And maybe that's better. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on
That's
earth
not
as it
that's
is
not
in
really
heaven. Well, I mean
that's
that's
not
quite
really
comforting.
that's not
The
really chanting though. That's not like that repetitive type of hypnotic chanting.
I know, but these words have meaning. Lead us not into temptation. Deliver us from evil. You know, maybe
Well,
these
yeah, but
words.
I could pray to Hades, like, and I could pray to him in like just, dear Hades, I need your help, blah 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 blah, this that. I mean, you can do that too, but I think what alleviates the depression is that repetitive, calling of his name. And okay, so we talked about non-doxastic, so I can't prove he exists, but well, I
You
hope he
hope that
exists.
he exists.
Yes, you.
But okay, but before you go, before we leave the subject of prayer, um, I think you should actually write down a list of what you want to happen on a piece of paper. Just write it down. Obviously, don't tell me if you don't want to. And when the act of writing it down will concentrate your mind, and whether or not God exists, you have a go. Because it's just stupid if you think, well, there is God, and He's saying, what would you like me to do just to show that I exist? And you have nothing to say. I mean, it's not enough to say, oh, just make me happy, God. It's like, no. It's like, well, what would make you happy? Oh, I don't know. I mean, that's just dumb, right?
Well, I didn't ask for anything. I just chanted, and I feel better. I didn't necessarily ask for anything.
But you said that you were feeling depressed, and I'm assuming something is making you feel depressed.
Well, maybe it's because I'm not chanting to Hades. Maybe that's the problem, Claire.
Well, it could be that well, there's something, and you're not telling me, or maybe it hasn't been analyzed, and you can't put it into words. Maybe you're anxious about um, the election or whatever. So, but I mean, obviously, you need to identify where it hurts. You go to the doctor, and you can't say, "Ooh, I'm not feeling that well," because the doctor's going to say, "Where does it hurt?" And if you can't tell him, he'll send you away. So you have to have a good think about, you know, what it is that's bothering you, and then you can say, well, stop that pain, in my foot, or whatever.
Well, lots of things bother me. Well, lately I've really been giving up hope with these spaces because they're just so depressing, and like it's just like pointless, useless. Just like there's no hope, and yeah, it's just like there's no hope, and I don't even know if I want fucking Donald Trump to win anymore, to be honest, when it comes to the election. I don't even fucking know. I don't even like.
Okay, okay, just sort of calm
Okay,
down.
well, I mean, but this is like, I don't want to get back onto the election, but the point is that, well, look, whatever my problem is, which is multifold.
It seems to be existential.
Yes, it's existential and it's multifold, and
And you cannot
okay.
even begin to say what's wrong. So
Well,
I'm
I have
suggesting,
all these other people are making me upset, Claire.
yeah, but your happiness shouldn't depend on crazy people, crazy stupid people you meet on the internet.
Well, you know what? Like, I don't like when people say the internet isn't real life. These are real people. Like, and if you meet a million people online, that means there's a million people out there that have these views. It's not like people act like online is this magical world that's not run by human beings. It's run by humans. There's humans behind those avatars.
Okay, but well, I guess in theory you're not meeting the right people, and the people that you meet are stupid and scared, and um, well, they obviously don't know the answer. But but that's why the whole Abrahamic narrative is so simple and easy to, well, simple and strong, right? I mean, okay, I think maybe you're depressed thinking, oh, there's nothing but secular Quranism, oh dear. I think maybe that could be the source of your depression. But I'm not depressed, obviously, because it's like, well, I always knew it was secular Quranism, and hey, Vincent is closer to secular Quranism, and once he admits it, then he'll be happy again because then he'll know what to do. But I guess you're thinking there's nothing else with secular Quranism. Oh damn.
So, how is someone who prays to Hades supposed to promote secular Quranism?
Well, I think your praying to Hades is just a temporary thing. I mean, why would you pray to Hades? You're gonna, you know, if Hades exists, you're gonna meet him soon enough. You should be praying to, well, I mean, okay, I imagine you would pray to Hades if there's somebody who's dead and you want to talk to them and whatever. But it
Actually,
seems inappropriate for you to
I want to
pray to
read
him.
that book because I got the book and there was a quote from supposedly Hades from an ancient manuscript where Hades was speaking, and he said, "Oh, why doesn't anyone worship me? Don't they want to know the land of their ancestors and all this other kind of stuff?" And I want to see like what he has to offer besides just being the god of the underworld. He must have something more to offer than that.
Well, go on. So you found a passage you want to read to us.
No, I thought, okay, I can read that passage. I have to, the book is coming, but here, let me get the passage that was on Amazon. I don't know if he said, it's just, hold on, it's a quote, but it looks like it's supposed to be Hades speaking. And he said that there was quotes in the book directly. Amazon. Um, My name is more often spoken with revile than gratitude or adoration. If only the living could see the power of their veneration, why would they not want to see the home of their ancestors thrive? Okay, so yeah, you can pray to make the home of your ancestors thrive. I guess
But I
that
don't
would.
understand how the underworld is the home of our ancestors. Well, I guess it's the home of our ancestors after they died, but we're still inhabiting what they used to inhabit. So it doesn't really make that much sense.
Why?
Um,
It's the well, it's where you're going after death, and it doesn't mean that he can't affect this world. He can. The terrestrial world is inhabited by Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. They all have equal realm over it.
I think, isn't it Jupiter who's king of all the gods?
Zeus.
So,
Well, there was three. There was Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon were the three brothers, and they were Zeus took the sky, Poseidon took the sea, Hades took the underworld, and the terra firma Earth was free range for all three of them, supposedly.
Okay, so I mean, you can see maybe see the logic of it. I mean, Zeus is the god of um, ideas, really. You know, when you think of um, war, what else? um, there's certain ideas like wealth and war and love and persuasion and the arts and that kind of thing, like Apollo. But anyway, Zeus is Zeus has no dominion over Poseidon. Is that what you're saying? I guess Poseidon is nature.
Poseidon is the ocean.
Yes. Um, but I know there's Gaia, which is the earth. I think she's one of the Titans. So basically, before Zeus was born, okay, his papa was a Titan, and he wanted to eat Zeus up because his papa Saturn thought that Zeus is gonna supersede him, and in a way that was correct because um, it wasn't enough for there to be the god of material things such as the earth and that sort of thing, because ideas was going to be the future once humans were born and wanted to do stuff with their ideas. I mean, you can kind of see the logical development of all this, can't you?
Well, let's see. I did get some comfort. I'm not going to lie. So if it's giving me comfort, then I don't know. I'll continue with it. I know that, you know, praying to Allah doesn't give me comfort.
Um, well, I suppose you just have to conceive of, you know, I mean, in a way, it's logical that there would be departmental gods like Poseidon and Zeus and Hades, um, but really the ones shop stop one shop one stop shopping idea is you just pray to one god. He knows everything, he can do everything, and you don't have to worry about, oh, am I praying the right god. I mean, it's like going to some government department, and you're being pushed from pillar to post. Oh, you come to the wrong department, you have to go to this other department, and then you queue up, and then you wait, and they tell you to go to yet another. You don't want that. You don't want that. Not even in your certainly not in your prayers. It's like, oh, your prayers won't come true because you pray to the wrong God. I mean, how annoying is that? And
Well,
and
look,
and
Allah doesn't answer all prayers. Look, no
no,
God,
he
we can't.
doesn't. But that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
but
okay.
you can't prove that my prayers weren't answered by Hades because he's limited, and then just say, well, Allah didn't answer your prayers because, well, he's not unlimited, but he just didn't want you to have it. Like, that you can't prove that. Neither of the gods helped you. You could pray. People pray to God for real help, like I don't want my daughter to die or whatever. I'm not talking about selfish things. I'm talking about like my children are starving. I need them to have food. Please, Allah, help me, and He doesn't. And you know what I mean? Like it's not like this. Look, if prayers to Allah worked, everyone would be Muslim.
Well, yes, but the whole idea of free will, which you also deny, is the problem. You know, obviously, it's not going to be like immediate. He's not. God is not a genie that who's going to give you three wishes. You'll have to be thinking, why weren't my prayers answered? I wasn't even asking for that, but I got this wonderful thing, and you will be tortured with, I guess, doubt. Until you die. And maybe you'll never know if God doesn't exist. You'll just live and die, and you'll never know. But I guess if God exists, there will be this interview. Like, well, why didn't you believe in me? Kind of thing. What was it because you preferred to ignore all my laws? And of course, you wouldn't be able to lie because God knows and sees all. So I guess, look, I mean, do it this way. You can think of yourself as Vincent, always wanting stuff, and think of, well, what you can imagine to be a morally perfect, omniscient God saying, well, Vincent, what have you done to deserve the answer to your prayers? Um, and then you can begin an internal conversation that might give you comfort. I don't know, but I think that that's how it's supposed to be done. You as this sort of supplicant saying, oh, please, God, can I have this and that? I promise to be good, whatever. Um, and then, you can imagine this God thinking, well, can I believe you? You haven't had a good track record, whatever. But I mean, you would know, what you really think and what's really happened in your life. And that internal dialogue might um, be more constructive than, you know, praying to the wrong God.
Okay, well,
what
not
are the
well. It
stories?
did make me. It did make me feel better. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, look, like I said, if Christian Science worked, everyone would be practicing Christian Science.
And,
Like,
and never going to the doctor, and never paying doctor's fees or
yeah, but
hospital fees, which
yeah,
everybody is terrified of.
if it worked, everyone would do it. It just doesn't fucking work is the problem. But, did this is this doing something for me? Yes. I mean, I can't explain it. I'm not even going to try to explain it, but I don't think I'm going to stop if it's making me feel better.
Right. So obviously, this desire to get better is making you feel better because you have engage in purposeful activity. I'm saying you can do more purposeful activity. Um, okay, talking about Hades, do you know the story of Perseus? I
I
think he
I
was he went down to the underworld to get his wife.
Yes, one of them. Yeah, something like that. I'm going to read all his stories in that book and I'll see what he's really all about. I did just notice it was a woman that wrote the book, which kind of makes me a little bit happier. I thought it was a man because his name is Jamie Wagoner, but Jamie's a girl. And
Like Jamie Lee Curtis.
yes, yeah, it's Jamie a girl, not Jamie a boy. And well, I do tend to trust women more, even though everyone accuses me of hating women. Obviously, all the people I admire are women almost. All
But
my
but you want to make women extinct. You're a mass of contradictions, Vincent.
well,
Maybe that's what's making you depressed, being a walking contradiction.
well, the thing is that I think gay men have the power of women in them. So I think that um okay, generally do I find women writers, philosophers, thinkers, I find them more concrete. I find them more just not so esoteric, mystical, weird, like not like Evola or something like that. Like, I mean, like this, like I don't like when I told you that the essence of meaning is in like the guy was it's the serpent kundalini that rises up through the spine. Like I don't want to hear that kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear you know man is the becoming of meaning and like what does that even mean? This
I
kind of
know, I
like
hate it. I've just had a whole day of talking to people. It's like, what do you mean? And quoting their words and not getting proper answers because they're basically bullshitting you with their, convoluted sentences and their subclauses and hoping you'll just, give up and die or something. And well, most of the time they're talking nonsense. And actually, you're not alone in saying that. Um, Okay, this is a quote that is supposed to come from Confucius that I think I remember reading in a book, but I can't find it now, even though I try, Um, it was a book about Confucius, and Confucius, he say that a good woman is, sorry, okay, this is what I think he said. The average man is better than an average woman, but the superior woman is better than the superior man. So that was what I thought he said. I can't find the quote anywhere, online anyway. But I thought that the reason why he might have said it was that women are not so tempted by their uh, desire to have sex with other women, and this makes them, if they're being sensible, more objective than men. What do you think of this?
Well, I don't know. Margaret Sanger was a hoe, and she was able to accomplish a lot. I think um, um, I don't know if all great women aren't promiscuous. I don't know about that.
Well, I mean,
Um,
the idea is that, some people can be promiscuous, but not everybody can be promiscuous. So some people can get away with it, but, not everybody. You can't make it the human right of everyone to have, gay sex and premarital sex and, all that, because, a lot of energy and time and resources are expended in courtship and child rearing. And have we discussed sublimation, Vincent?
a little bit.
Yeah, so the whole idea is that um, people might feel horny, but they're going to use their sexual urges to do something more socially constructive, like
No, but
build
see,
their
I don't
career.
believe that because, I don't necessarily believe that because studies show, people with a higher graduate degrees like sex toys more. It says that they have less sex, but they obsess over sex more. I think people, lots of doctors, lawyers, engineers are fucking sex addicts. Like, the idea that sex addiction stops you from performing higher functions doesn't equate. Then why are there all these perverted physicists and chemists and why?
I'm not saying necessarily that high IQ people are not sex obsessed. I mean, the whole idea of regulating um, sexual relations with marriage is, what was intended to address this problem.
No, but you said that people who sublimate their sexual desires are able to accomplish greater things, and I don't necessarily think that's true because I think there's lots of people who are very sexually expressive with themselves, yet who are very intellectually accomplished and financially accomplished, and accomplished in lots of really great ways. And I just don't think that it's necessarily a truism that if seminal retention, if you do not spill your semen often, that you're going to get these psychic powers, that everyone talks about you'll get. And I just don't, I'm not falling for it.
Well, I don't think you can deny that the West was more successful when men were required to sublimate their desires and women were required to be virgin brides.
Was it more successful? Well, all our technological explosion happened after World War One.
Well, I
Um,
mean, every war is an opportunity for scientific advancement, isn't it?
yeah, but I don't know if we've necessarily. I don't know. Is America better now than it was? I don't know. I don't know. We're still the number one superpower, but yeah, you have to be creative about these things, and I think leftism has made people uncreative about how to deal with this because, well, it's not leftism's fault because the leftists were into eugenics. Margaret Sanger was a leftist in many, 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 many ways. She was a leftist. Um, I always tell people who's more likely to support eugenics, atheists who believe in evolution or Christians? Of course it would be atheists who believe in evolution. Of course it would be. Who, like, that's a no-brainer, but it's the opposite of what it should be now, where these leftist atheists who believe in evolution and no God are against eugenics. It's like a mental disconnect.
Sorry, why are you talking about atheists and. Sorry, can you say that again?
If if it weren't for World War II, I think leftists would be eugenicists. I think that they would I think they would be like Margaret Sanger was, where they said, okay, we can be liberals, social liberals, but we have to, maintain the population and make sure it's a good, healthy population. Hitler scared them away from all of that.
Well, eugenics was certainly very popular in the early 20th century. You do know that, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but it was popular amongst, people who were socialists.
Um, yeah, so we know that the Scandinavians were practicing it quite ruthlessly.
The Swedish practiced it a little bit. But there has to be nice ways of doing these things too. Not, we don't need to kill our infants, our sick infants, especially if they're not going to breed. It's not like my brother's incapable of breeding. I mean, it's not like there's any worry about him passing on his genes. He doesn't have the mental capacity to breed.
Yeah, I mean, there's a different treatment for mentally deficient boys and mentally deficient girls. You know the reason, don't you?
What do you mean there's a different treatment?
If you are a mentally deficient boy, you are more likely to survive than if you were a mentally deficient woman.
You mean in the past?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Um,
now it's like, well, do you want to be dealing with your, mentally deficient daughter's periods and her getting herself knocked up? Would you?
no.
Yeah, so she's got to go.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, well,
No, just stop saying that. You know what the answer
what do
is.
you mean she's
You
got to
just want to.
go?
You
Where is
just
she going to
want to know.
go?
Oh, I'm so nice. I'm such a nice person. These decisions have to be made by people in charge, and you're saying, oh no, no. We have to make these decisions if we're interested in politics and taking difficult decisions. We have to make them and be prepared for people to go. Oh, but it's so mean.
Look, just because I'm a eugenicist doesn't mean that I need to be.
You just want to have things both ways.
Well, you could be nice. You could be a
You
eugenicist and
can be
still
a
be nice.
nice eugenicist, like a nice Nazi. Nobody's going to accept that.
Yeah, you could be a nice eugenicist. I don't see what's the problem with being a nice eugenicist.
The moment you say the E word, you will be accused of all kinds of things. So I don't know. You might as well go the whole hog and go through the logic of the thing.
No, but the eugenics is
Okay,
about.
supposing you went ahead and were a parent and you were told after the kid was born that it's going to be exactly like your brother. What are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
Well, I would take care of it till I couldn't, and then put it in a home like my parents did. I mean, if I couldn't
And
take.
then it will. So you're just passing it on to somebody else to look after at taxpayers' expense.
So what am I supposed to do? Kill it? I guess. I guess that's your answer, Claire. Is just kill it. I don't. And then what do you do when it's older and it gets disabled? You kill it then too?
Well, the medical options. I mean, in the UK, they're quite ruthless now. They have child euthanasia. They have adult euthanasia called the death pathway, the Liverpool death pathway. I know somebody who said, "Oh, I saved my father from the death pathway." They were not going to give him food or liquids because they decided it was time for him to go in hospital. So yeah, they're already doing it. There's no point even us pretending to be shocked and horrified. But there are articles everywhere about these how they do it. It's not even a new thing that we're, proposing. It's already being done. You can look up Liverpool Death Pathway for adults and children. And this was years ago.
I don't know. Claire, you almost make me want to become a Christian because, like, I do kind of miss that soft Christian, love stuff. I mean, it is addicting. It is, you can't, you can't look, Claire. I mean, I think, well, in Islam, they don't abandon their sick children. They're taught not to do that in Islam.
Well, there was this question of, what was it? I still remember this imam saying, well, we shouldn't really do it. I mean, even the Jews, they have this sort of rule of, I think, for very disabled, we wait okay, there is some rule, I can't remember now. But maybe it's a month rule, like, you know, okay, in Roman times, the father got to say yes or no after the month is over. I know there's something similar in 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 um, in China. That there's even a sort of term like the
I know,
infant
but
can
no,
come.
no, no, Claire, Muslims don't believe in murdering their sick infants. They would never be involved in that. Never.
Um, you're right about that. Um, hold on a minute, please. Um, okay. Um, apparently there's something wrong with my audio, so I better fix it. Let me
I
hang
can hear
on.
you fine, but
Okay. Okay, I'll just drag it all the way up. Okay, is it louder now?
yeah, it's fine. It was fine before.
Okay. All right. Um, sorry, I've forgotten what you were saying.
Excuse me. That Muslims don't
Oh,
believe.
that Muslims do not. Actually, okay, there's nothing about infanticide. Okay, there's nothing about abortion in either the Quran or the Bible.
No, there's
Okay.
nothing. Okay, but I mean, what? No, but I know in Islam, I've heard Muslims say it that you have to treat your sick kindly. You can't abandon them.
Okay, so you're saying Christians never, did anything. Look, since we're talking about the Greeks, I mean, okay, all these terms for killing people, right? There's patricide, killing of mother, father, matricide, killing of mother, fratricide, killing of brother, sororicide, killing of sister, mariticide, killing of spouse, and filicide, killing of child. So it's not exactly unknown. I'm just reminded of somebody who was telling me about his family history, and he's talking about his grandmother who was one of 10 or something like that, and then there was a disabled sibling of his grandmother, and and oh yeah, and they all slept in one bed or something. And I guess it's easy to accidentally on purpose, oops, it didn't, you know, survive. Because that was I guess how it was done in the olden days. I mean, we also know stories about midwives, and they had to be women of good character. And I also remember this documentary of the midwife talking to older mothers who didn't want to have their baby in hospital, so that they would want a home birth, And then the midwife would say, we'll try and find out the wishes of the mother. Basically, what do you want to happen if there's some defect. Do you want to keep it or not? That kind of thing. Of course, these things would be discreetly asked. But, I mean, haven't you seen Victorian dramas? Shall I save the mother or the child? That kind of thing. Well, I've seen a few Victorian dramas on that theme, which will be shocking to us now, I suppose, where people had to make decisions since they didn't have a welfare state. And also, even if the kid were taken off your hands, do you think it would be well taken care of? I mean, usually it'll be exploited. It will be, well, not so badly, not so well treated.
Oh, I feel like I have to pray to Hades again right now. You're making me depressed. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. Look, I mean, I think that if you have a strong, healthy population, it's okay to have some children who are born sickly. I think if you're taking care of your population and making sure everyone's born well, then the few that come out with problems, it's okay. And yeah, either the parents can help take care of it or the state can take it. And,
Well, because the thing is, once you say it's okay, then there'll just be more and more of them, right? I mean, and okay.
No, there won't. Not if you're breeding a healthy population. There won't be more and more.
Well, okay, the Romans ignored their own rules, right? We know about Tiberius, who was, there was something wrong with him. He was a bit of an idiot. He had a club foot. He had a stammer.
And he became a very well-known emperor who did very well, actually. He was liked as an emperor.
Mm-hmm.
But
it means that the Romans ignored their own rules, and after that, they declined. I mean, obviously there has to be a balance. I'm not saying, but you have to leave it up to the parents. Ultimately, they're the ones bearing the brunt of childcare and the expense of it, and obviously they can't be relying on, the state to protect, to give them wheelchairs and whatnot. Really, they have to make these decisions themselves. If you say somebody else is going to, take it off you, then, well, you. I mean, the thing is, once it is taken off your hands, do you know how it's cared for? In the UK, that there are horrible stories of these, disabled people who are being exploited because they get their benefits and they don't live in a home, so they live in sheltered housing, and you get horrible people who kind of, pretend to be their friend and bully them and threaten them and take their benefits. And nobody protects them because, basically their parents have just thought, well, somebody's looking after my retard kid. But anyway, it's not your problem, in a way. I mean, it isn't at all, is it?
Oh, no, Claire, that's not, that's also, I do like that book, The Pink Swastika, because it did say, I do like that straight people care more about just their immediate needs, their immediate surroundings, where it's like, that whole, well, you don't have a disabled child, so what do you care? Yeah, I think gay people are more expansive like that. Okay, I don't have a disabled child, but I care for disabled children that are born that are not mine, and I don't think that's. Yeah, I think heterosexuals
Aren't you just
are
being
less
generous with other people's tax dollars, though?
Well, Claire, so you're trying to get me to say that I wish my parents had killed my older brother.
No.
Or then what should they have done with him? They put him in a home, and you say that's not really.
Okay, he's sorted. He seems happy. I guess you occasionally visit him. Do you?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
but
well, that's all right then. But I'm saying for others, because I guess, America is in debt, right? I mean, Jay was saying the other day that 25% of the US GDP goes towards servicing its debt. So I guess, you need to think about what you can really afford and what you can't. You need to, have a think about everything, whether you can afford stuff and which is, and how to manage your spending. I mean, we all do.
okay, well, there's different ways to maybe less wars, maybe, less war, less things like that. And then we would have
I
some.
agree. Well, I'm glad we can talk about something we can agree on. Wars are very expensive. We can agree on that, and nobody likes them. And the problem with these neocon wars is that you bomb these Muslim countries, and then the Muslims come to your country as cheap labor, which is kind of like the old style kind of imperialism where you go to somebody's country, you defeat them, and then you bring them home as slaves, right? So this is basically what has happened. And you want those wars to stop. But then you also have to address your labor shortage. Jay says he wants to talk to you pertaining to your depression. Maybe you'll find him cheering.
Okay.
I mean, I think we should just be. I think we get some kind of peace when we think we're doing the right thing or following the right rules. I think that's it. And we can't just be using our emotions to, you know, try and feel good. Hi, Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hey Claire, how you doing?
Hi, Claire. Hi, Jay.
Hi,
Hi.
Claire. I just give you a call and I rang you on your phone and a WhatsApp message because your audio for 20 minutes was very, 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 very quiet.
Well, Vincent didn't have a problem with it, but I've raised the audio level.
Yeah. And I know Vincent would be able to hear you because she's coming through StreamYard, but with when it was coming out of YouTube, you could hardly hear.
Okay.
I didn't mind.
Well, thank you for mentioning it. I fixed it then now.
Yeah. Give me 10 seconds. Right. No, it was just what Vincent was saying, like an hour ago, half an hour ago, about like what's the point in all of this space stuff, and he was saying he doesn't even know if he wants Trump to win and stuff. I think all of that is good. I think it's like growth. It doesn't need to be like a bad thing necessarily, and obviously I don't know Vincent, and it's not my business to pry and everything, but like with being depressed or low, the world and its people will find 1,000,001 like you'll be this, it might be that, you should do this and all of that, and like I know quite a bit about it, a little bit from my own stuff, but just like working with other people in certain areas, and like it's actually okay like to feel like rotten. It's almost part of and I've noticed as well that with religious people or spiritual people, like it tends to be the death of self. There's something going on, and I don't know if we are the best people to find it. I know we can go to therapists and they'll spend a year finding it, and and it doesn't necessarily make things better, and we don't know if it's the cause of it. But just I'm saying from my own experience, and Vincent can listen or not listen, but just it's okay, like sit with it, and eventually it does pass. But when you look back on it, you might say, oh, I felt a bit low because whatever. whatever the reasons are. But at the moment, it might not be the easiest task, and I guarantee you might come up with 25 reasons for it. But I think, and honestly, and this is like God's honest truth, that as humans, we learned this in Kabbalah, Claire. We want to be united with God, and that is it. That is the only cure for what people call the hole in the soul. Now, Trump can win. That isn't going to solve any problem. It'll solve a problem in terms of like people who want Trump to win, and the MAGA lot will be happy, blah blah blah. But until we actually we suffer from the delusion that we can get wealth from the outside world with money, fame, influence, Trump winning, whatever. And I think once we get to know that all of that stuff, of course, it's important. I'm not saying it's not, but it does not. It does not match the, like, is it salvation? Is that the word? To be with God, or a religion of choice, or whatever, and you're well without any of this other stuff. And to be honest, and that's where I am, and I've been for quite a while. But I went through a lot of internal grief, drama, pain, problems. I put it out on other people.
Is there an afterlife, Jay?
Pardon?
Is there an afterlife?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll just remove him now, okay? He's just waffling on as usual. He'll just be saying yes or no again. So he offers you no certainty, except that he believed in Jesus and everything was fine. And when you ask him about anything, he has no answer. So what we're talking about is certainty. So Jay kind of made a point that we have to be united with God. What does it mean? These are just empty words. To the extent that we can unite with God, I mean, it just means we think we're doing the right thing, and God ought to be pleased with us if we're doing this thing that we're doing, whatever it is, right? That's the most we can get in this life. Be united with God. What total claptrap. But then, Jay is very good at, waffling on. Do you want him back again?
It's up to you. It's up to you. I mean, he wasn't necessarily bothering me, but it's up to you.
No, he'll go on for 20 minutes and then he'll go. And then when you ask, is there an afterlife? He'll just say, who knows? Who knows? I don't know. But I've taken up 20 minutes of your time giving you more of my stupid shit. He doesn't even know if he's Christian. He doesn't even know. He just laughs as one, and he keeps coming up to say, oh, look at me, I'm a Christian. And, fundamentally, he's a nihilist. He won't say what he needs to say. And he comes here because he can't say what he wants to say in real life to the people who's actually around him. He wouldn't dare. He wouldn't fucking dare. Because he surrounds himself with women and middle-class people who consider themselves liberals. He wouldn't fucking dare to talk about any of the things he talks to us about. But But yes, if you give him 20 minutes, he'll fill up the time and talk about, when he did this and how he felt bad and he did the other thing and he found Jesus. He doesn't get it about idolatry. I don't know if you do or you don't, but obviously this is something I'm concentrating on, because fundamentally, the best you can do if you believe in God is, well, he's given us instructions. I guess he wants us to follow them, or he doesn't exist and it doesn't matter. But I'm saying we can look at history and see how people who have divine revelation have worked out. And it seems everybody is still complaining about the Jews and thinking they run the world, even these these Christians and Muslims. So I guess technically they're the most high status religion in the world. And whether they suffer or not, and boy do they suffer, boy do they go on about them suffering. The suffering Jews. I mean, do they suffer? I mean, do we know if they suffer? I mean, we don't know, do we? I mean, most people don't even know if they've been cursed by God. And God, if you go by the curses for disobedience in Deuteronomy, is perfectly prepared to curse Jews. And if you go to the Quran, he is perfectly prepared to curse hypocrites. So I guess neither Jews nor Gentiles get away with it. And I think an important definition is, who is a hypocrite? I don't know, would you sort of find it cheering to discuss the definition of hypocrisy? To think that, all these Muslims are also going to hell. All these Muslims who think that they've got one over us.
Hypocrites. Sorry, I'm just looking at, hypocrisy. I'm just looking at these. Oh, God, these Muslims are just so uppity everywhere. Hypocrisy. Well, they should go fix their own Sharia, shouldn't they, if they want to talk to people about hypocrisy?
Yeah, because it's all about the meaning of words. So I keep going on about the four rightly guided caliphs. They were not kings, were they? And it's like, oh, we don't know. And then it's like, well, they were only called the four rightly guided caliphs because they were not kings. After that, they were kings. But all the Gulf states are kingdoms. The Gulf kingdoms. Malaysia is a kingdom. It's but not Indonesia, because it's a republic. And Iran, it's a republic. But the whole point of let me just explain why it's so important to distinguish between, you're an American, you should know. The whole point of America, the founding of America, was based on the Republican principle. And obviously the founding fathers were saying, we're not going to be a kingdom anymore. We're not going to be subject to the tyranny of George III, who was mad, right? And not being fair to the Americans for one reason or another. But I mean, there are rational reasons for it, right? I mean, we're talking about the pool of political talent in a republic and a pool of political talent in a kingdom. Because obviously the pool of political talent in a royal family is going to be very small indeed compared to, say, the CCP. You think, well, it's got, 72 or 76 million members officially. And if you're a member of the royal family, if you are the monarch, there would be a rule of succession, right? And then you can only, bequeath your kingship to your well, usually your son. But obviously, Henry had a problem with, leaving his kingdom to his daughters. And, obviously the Jews had really bad kings. So, I mean, it seems obvious, and if you look at the history of China, it's better run now than when it was under an imperial dynasty. So, I mean, do you see the Republican principle? That, in theory, anyway. I mean, that you get more. You get a better selection of talented, entitled, people who should be leading the country than if you were a member of the royal family.
Oh my God. What's going on with Tom Hanks? They're showing, never mind. What is he doing?
Is he doing anything?
I don't know. He's just dancing with this, like, 7-year-old girl that's wearing a party dress that's a little too short and shows her back, and he's making her, like, booty pop and stuff.
Is this a recent video?
This is when he was younger. I'm just looking at it on Twitter right now. I mean, they accuse everyone of being a pedophile these days. Everyone, I mean, I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know. This girl's dressed up a bit tardish. I don't know. She has big hair. She has big, huge hair that's obviously a fake wig. I don't think that's her real hair.
Oh,
Maybe it is.
Maybe you can share the video so I can see it.
Maybe. Hold on. Hold on. Let me share it to you. And hold on. I copied the link.
Was he on Epstein Island?
I don't know. Hold on, I'm sending it to you. I'm sending you the video. I just brought it up because I just saw everyone's posting about him now. There was another one of him, like, pretending to play with himself. Everyone's calling him a pervert all of a sudden. I don't know what he did.
Well, I mean, I just don't think it's a good idea to react to any of these things until you get the full official story.
Right. Yeah, no, I know. I mean,
it could be a deep fake. We don't know.
Yeah, you're right. It could be a deep
There's
fake.
so many. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people got into a lot of trouble during the July riots in the UK, right?
Why?
And because they thought it was Muslims, right? And then they went and, threw bricks or, they did stuff to mosques and Muslims and retweeted, and then they got put in prison. Now, all these things are designed to trap us. So, I mean, I would advise people to refrain from commenting on it until they get the full story. Because I think, a lot of social media is sort of intended to trap us. I mean, I saw something about, with P. Diddy, with a white girl, with this arm around a white girl, with no context, just nothing. Obviously with the implication that he did something improper with her. But it's like all these deep fakes, like the deep fake of Hitler's voice speaking in English to all his English-speaking fans, right?
Yeah, no, I told you that Elon Musk shared that propaganda video, and it was Kamala Harris speaking, and obviously it was a deep fake because she would never have said the things that she said when she was speaking, but it sounded just like her. I mean, I would have thought it was her if she wasn't saying such outrageous things. I would have thought it was her.
Yeah. But in a way, we can sort of, I suppose it's good so that, we take more care and we don't immediately, we have to check everything, really. Or certainly wait until the official story is out. But I don't think you should be depressed, Vincent. You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I think a lot of the depression is to do with uncertainty. You know, not knowing what to believe, and being more or less convinced that everyone around us is lying, or in error. I mean, you know, all this, oh, we're being enslaved now. It's like, well, actually, you know, we were always the slaves of our, you know, government. You know, it's just that now they're more obvious about it. You know, they used to pretend we could say anything, you know, within reason, and now we can't even say anything that is what we believe to be the truth. Have you seen your therapists recently?
Yes, and she agreed with me that gay men are nice and compassionate and understanding, and I don't know. I think she's a Christian, and I know she's hiding the fact that she secretly believes that homosexuality is wrong, but like all her friends are gay and she loves them all. And there's a lot of people like that. There's a lot of people who think that deep down inside think homosexuality is wrong, but still have gay friends. A lot of people do that.
Sure.
Yeah, well, that's
Love the
kind of not,
hate the sin, love the sinner.
it's not really, that's not, you really shouldn't hang out with people if you think what they're doing is a mortal sin, especially if there was a time when it brought the capital punishment from God. You know what I mean? That's not, homosexuality is not a game according to the Bible. It's not, they're classed with slave traders and liars and drunkards. And, these are not the type of people you want to claim as your friends.
Sex offenders. Yes, I suppose there's sort of different levels of association. Maybe you'll talk to them, at work or in the pub. But maybe
Oh no,
you
her
won't, you
friends, she
won't bring
hangs
them
out with
home.
them. She hangs out with them, please. I'm not talking about a random person she meets at a pub. I'm talking about her friends that she hangs with at their houses and stuff. I mean, this is very common where, okay, I really don't believe it's true, but I love gay men. A lot of women love gay men. A lot of women like are in love with gay men, and but I think deep down inside, all heterosexuals are homophobic.
Yeah, there's a kind of virtue signaling because, it's like, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so tolerant, I have all these gay, black friends, whatever, the way some white liberals like to do. And, no, I really think, because the rules keep changing, people are in despair. It's like, which one shall I follow? If I follow this one, tomorrow somebody will tell me I'm wrong, or maybe just later today somebody will tell me I'm wrong. And, I'm not kidding when I'm saying people just want to know what the rules are supposed to be, and then they can think, okay, I may not like these rules, but I can at least plan my life around them and hope that.
People are going to rebel, Claire. People are going to rebel if they don't
Yeah,
like the
I
rules.
know, and that's why you have to impose these rules.
Where are all of these non-sex offenders who are going to impose these rules on all the sex offenders? Because if they're all divorced, all having children out of wedlock, all homosexuals, where's this army of men that's going to come in and put down the iron fist and say no more of this?
I'm not expecting anything to happen tomorrow, but what I continue to hope for is that there are people capable of having a conversation about it. I've been saying that you need a national conversation about all these things, but people are just stuck here and never even talking to their family members or friends because they're terrified, right? Like Jay, they're terrified of talking to actual people breathing the same air in the same room with them. That, I think, is fundamentally the problem. I mean, okay, I can say that most people, if they wanted to know what I think about stuff, they can look me up. I'm not hiding myself.
Echo,
So,
turn on the light.
but I think that there is, obviously some communication difficulties within the generations. And it's going to be difficult because, people are going to be, pointing the finger at each other and not taking each other's points. And yes,
Echo, turn off the light.
maybe some relationships will be threatened. But I'm just saying these real life conversations have to be, have to take place. Because otherwise, the silent majority, well, the moral majority will be the silent majority. And okay, so you say we're all guilty of some sex crime. Okay, fine. We don't have to retrospectively punish people who did it before the law was passed. I mean, it's called ex post facto law. Are you familiar with that expression?
What is it called?
Ex post facto law.
No, what's that?
Or another term is retrospective legislation. So it's not fair to punish people for doing something that wasn't illegal at the
Yeah,
time.
in America, it's called no retroactive legislation.
Okay.
No retroactive laws is what we call it in America.
Yeah, and I affirm that principle. So nobody needs to get all huffy and puffy and think they're going to be all lashed. Well, I mean, if that's your objection, but I think that the problem is deeper than that. Is that they're not going to even acknowledge that they did anything wrong, right? I mean, that is really, people like Stephen J. James. I mean, I thought that was a brilliant conversation you had with him when you said how disgusted you were with him for his low standards, about getting some fat girl pregnant.
Yeah.
And he was completely unashamed about it.
But he can't be shamed. I mean, how do you shame someone like that?
Well, actually, people say that, but, obviously, if there's a law against it and if the law punishes you, then you can be shamed, or at least you'll be seen to be punished.
Claire, I might black out for a second. If you can't hear me, I'll be back.
Okay.
But I don't know.
No,
I don't
look,
know. Maybe Hades will help me with my artificial womb, and I don't know.
okay, I don't think it's his department. I think it's probably Apollo that you need to be praying to.
I don't know. Well, I've prayed to lots of gods. I don't know. Maybe Hades will understand me. Maybe he's misunderstood and misliked and, unappreciated.
Well, I suppose, if you do believe in the afterlife and you think it's necessary to punish evil, then you'd have to, have an underworld. But let me just check if Hades is where every dead person goes to, right? It's not just bad dead people. All dead people go to Hades. Isn't that so? Yeah, he's god of the dead and king of the underworld. So, visitors to the underworld. Sorry, it's not Perseus, it's Orpheus I was talking about. So Orpheus descended into the underworld in search of his late wife Eurydice, who died when a snake bit her. So lovely was the music he played that it charmed even Hades as well as his wife Persephone, who allowed him to take Eurydice to the land of the living as long as he did not look back at her on his way out. And guess what he did? There's a picture of what happened to Orpheus after his unsuccessful mission. Have you seen that one? Okay, I'll share it with you guys. Oh, I don't know how to do it now. It's a slightly different system. Oh, how do I do it? Oh, this is not the one I want to do. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Oh, I think I know what I've done now. Sorry about this. No, I'm not. I'm using a different browser. Oh. Present. Share screen. Oh, I have to use Chrome. Damn. Okay, never mind. I'll share a picture of Hi.
Hi, I just need to get my, hold on, I need to get my microphone working again. Hold on.
Hello.
Hi.
Let's have some warm soda. So anyway, continue.
Oh, I was just going to show you a picture which I posted in the chat of Orpheus after his unsuccessful mission
What unsuccessful mission?
to get his wife from the underworld back into the land of the living again.
Oh, okay.
Do you know the story?
A little bit, and he wasn't allowed to turn back to see her or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of stories like, Pandora's box, not allowed to look inside in the box. She couldn't help it. Lot's wife told not to look back on Sodom and Gomorrah as she was fleeing it. And she was turned into a pillar of salt, all these stories. You're not supposed to do it, and you did it anyway.
Well, let's say
Well, it's
if Hades lifts my depression, I'll listen to him.
I think you should just do a bullet point, like what is causing it fundamentally, what just in a sentence, and if you can do that, then I think you would be kind of on your way to dealing with it. But if it's just sort of unresolved emotions that you don't quite want to express, you're never going to deal with it. I mean, I guess that's what therapy is for. It's like, they're there to listen, and then, you want to talk about the thing that's on your mind, and you talk about it and talk about it until eventually, you arrive at the answer. I mean, is this how it works, or am I wrong?
Well, I don't know. I
mean,
I think
the
some
thing
people are
about
just.
Freud, I mean, the clients go on a couch and then they look at the ceiling and they just go on about their childhood and whatever, and the therapist is supposed to take notes, but probably quite often he falls asleep.
Well, I don't know. I think people can be in therapy for years and not find out what the problem is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, and everybody around them is shouting at them, like, your problem is, X, Y, and Z, and they won't take it. And people used to say, well, just tell them, just somebody tell them exactly what's wrong with them. And, I mean, I guess it's all about, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And and I guess a lot of it is to do with religion. It's like, yes, all these people have explained the logic of believing in God, and people still don't believe in it. It's because their objection is only stupid people who believe in things that are not even proven believe in God, low IQ people. And then you say, what about the Jews? And they go quiet, and then you show it's logical, and they still don't believe it because they don't like it. That's fundamentally the reason. They don't like it. And I think the concept of idolatry is very useful here. It's like, well, so you're saying your opinion about these things is greater than logic or truth or morality, and the answer is yes, that's how they feel about things. They're not going to change their mind about something just because they suddenly realize they believe in nonsense, because they prefer their nonsense, right? That is fundamentally what it's about. They prefer their nonsense to the truth. They prefer their lies to logic. But I think, I mean, do you think doubt is more corrosive than loss? Which is more corrosive? Which is more painful? Oh, we can all go and listen to Brutus, I guess.
Brutus is having a stream.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to end this one?
Well, unless you have something more to say.
No, I think I've said it all.
Okay. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. I'm eating. Sorry.
Alrighty.
Mm,
Bye.
bye.